this is a test. You know what I mean? It's a test. Jelly bean. Okay, Google, turn off Chromecast living room.
Sure. Turning Chromecast off.
Joining us this Thursday evening.
Is the audio playing?
A circuit at Barcelona, Catalonia, where Hamilton, Bottas and Verstappen have all shared the podium here in each of the last 3 years. Bottas, Verstappen and Hamilton was the top 3 in FP1 for the first session in 2021. Welcome along to FP2. It's round 4 of this Formula 1 season, and here's our track, 2.9 miles long, 2 DRS zones along the main straight and the run down towards turn 10, which has been reprofiled since last year and caught a couple of the drivers out in the morning session, not the least Robert Kubica, who ended up in the gravel. There's gravel waiting for you down at turn 1 if you go deep enough. This was Sebastian Vettel coming out of the pits. Lewis Hamilton trying to overtake him and just edged out of that particular battle. 6 laps later, Hamilton was in the lead. 2020, Carlos Sainz fending off Alex Albon and keeping up his 100% scoring record here in Barcelona. He was 6th in last year's race. Turn 8, late on in the race, Sebastian Vettel in the Red Bull then against Nico Rosberg, and Vettel nipping up around the inside at turn 9 to go on and finish 5th in that particular race. Tyre compounds, the soft is the C3, the hard is the C1, and in between it's the medium, the C2. It's exactly the same compound as we had for last year. The sun is very much shining here. There is a stiff breeze blowing around the circuit, and it was Valtteri Bottas who was the fastest in FP1, and not for the first time this season. The last 2 races before this, Valtteri Bottas was quickest. He went on to get pole last week. It didn't do him much good in the race, but he's at least started the way he wants to continue. Karun, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Yeah, no, he looked good this morning. You know, just it's that last sector where still the tyres seem to be overheating a little bit, but we're going to see it all through the weekend. But you're right, you know, he started on the right foot. He's had critics, hasn't he, after Imola and frankly after Portugal as well, where Hamilton passed him and then disappeared off in the distance. So yeah, he needs to strike back, and starting quickest in P1 is a good way to start.
I mentioned the breeze out on the circuit. These are perfect conditions though, and very typical Barcelona conditions, because the breeze does pick up a little bit in the afternoon. I've been trying to work out whether it is a proper headwind down the main straight or a bit of a crosswind, and I think it's a little bit of... anything in the FP1 session this morning that would have alerted you to the fact that here in terms of they haven't been testing in 2021. The tyres very different in terms of their construction from last year. August was a much hotter time of the year to come to Spain as well. Normally the teams know everything before they get to Barcelona. Is it the same this year?
No, it is different. Of course it's different because for all the above mentioned reasons. So, but I think at the end of the day, it's still a track that they have so much data and information from, and they feel it's a predictable surface. That was the other question mark in Portimao, that it's a slightly unusual surface, isn't it? No